joining us. As you probably have guessed and seen, you are muted, but we encourage you to communicate with us via the QA and chat functions. Simply send those to all panelists or all participants, and people will see your questions and comments, and we will be able to address them. We're thrilled to have Heather Halter, our Digital Solutions Specialist for Launchpad, here to present Video Tools 202, and there is nobody in the company better qualified to present Video Tools 202 than Heather. Heather, take it away.
Thank you, Scott. What a great introduction. Well, welcome again to our 202 webinar on how to use video to make your course even greater. This is expanding upon the Video Tools Introduction webinar that we held just a few minutes ago. And we also had one of these back in the fall as well, and I think a few of you were at that presentation as well. As Scott said, everyone's on mute, but please use the chat feature if you have any questions. We do want to hear from you, and we want to make sure we address any concerns you have. So I've got a screenshot on the computer that hopefully will let you see what you need to see to make sure you're connected. And hopefully go ahead and just type a quick message in the chat if you don't mind, to make sure that everyone can hear me and is seeing my screen. I just want to make sure we've got that before we move on. And hopefully that is working fine. And I'm getting a little nervous because I'm not seeing anyone type.
We've got a few, Heather. We've got a few. Not everyone is going to do it. Not everyone did it last time either. I think we've got enough to say that we've got it semi-formed.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. Well, then again, my name is Heather Halter. I'm the Digital Solutions Specialist for several different disciplines in the humanities with Macmillan, which means I provide training and pedagogical support for instructors using our Launchpad products. As you may recall, before coming to Macmillan, I taught public speaking myself and used an older version of these video tools in my class. So now I get to work with instructors across lots of disciplines, helping them integrate these into your course. And as we hit on last time, it just bears reminding, I guess. We do have digital solution specialists for all of our disciplines. So if there's any questions that you have beyond what we covered today, if you need help getting your own Launchpad course set up, please let us know. We're glad to meet with you one-on-one or in a small group to help get Launchpad working for you. So today I want to take a look at how to use Macmillan's video assignment tool to make your course even greater. We'll expand upon the basics that we already have covered before. Specifically, we're going to look at best practices for how you can use these tools in your course, and we'll take a detailed look at some video assignment features. For those of you who are already using our video tools, you may know some of the information we're covering. If you're using other video tools but not necessarily ours, I just wanted to give you a brief look here. What's on your screen right now is a completed version of a video assignment. This is kind of my sample student here, although actually that is me on camera, but posing as a sample student today. So I uploaded my speech here. And over on the side, we have comments. Items with this yellow square are from the instructor. The star is the student who submitted the video. And then the circle is a classmate who is commenting on the video here. So in this video assignment, we have a combination of a couple things. There's a student-submitted video. The instructor is adding comments. The student is adding comments to their own video in a self-review way, and then we also have this available for peer review, meaning classmates are adding comments as well. And of course, as you saw, they're time-based, so they're scrolling through based on that spot in the particular video that they're related to. And then of course, we do have a customizable rubric where you can assign a score to the video that we're watching. I want to jump back to my PowerPoint real quick, though. And what we're going to take a look at next are going to be the specific best practices for video assignments. And I will say, if you've had any ideas kind of floating around in your head, I'd love for this to be a collaborative environment. If you have any ideas, go ahead and share those in the chat because, you know, it can be a really great brainstorming option here. But what I like to remind everybody is that you can upload virtually any video or audio file. Anything that you have saved on your computer or that you can grab from somewhere else that fits these file formats is able to be uploaded to our video assignments. And of course, I do emphasize both video and audio files. Now, how exactly are you going to get these videos to upload? For one, probably the most commonly used would be to record your own video. You can set up a video camera in your class to capture a lecture that you're giving. You could also use a webcam on your laptop or your computer. And also, because everyone has one nowadays, you can even use your phone to capture video. All you have to do is just take the video file from your phone, put it onto your computer, and then upload it right into Launchpad. Another great way that kind of gets overlooked but is equally powerful, you can also upload screencasts, meaning you can record what's on your screen while navigating and narrating through something and upload that to the video assignment as well. There are some free options for this. Screencast-O-Matic and TinyTake are free programs. They will record everything that you're doing on the screen and the audio that you're saying while you're recording this. And of course, it will be available to upload. I personally use Snagit. It's my favorite. It's a very low cost. It's more premium, but it's really easy to use. Or if you're lucky enough to have a Camtasia program, that is going to be the most premium that you can have. It's really great, and anything you build in there, you can upload. Additionally, you can have narrated lecture slides. I think maybe a little known feature of PowerPoint is that you can actually set it up to record moving through your slides and narration as well. So that's another way to get lectures in there, provide some sort of instruction to your students. You can also add any movie file that you may have saved. Meaning if you're working on a project in Final Cut Pro, if you're using iMovie, Adobe Premiere, anything in there can be uploaded. And of course, you can also have audio files. You don't necessarily have to have video associated with it. So if you have any songs that you've downloaded from maybe Amazon or iTunes that you've purchased, if you rip something off of a CD, those can certainly all be uploaded into our video assignment feature. So lots of different options here. Now, how do you want to use these videos in your course? As we talked about last time, remember that there's two different ways that videos can be used. They can be an instructor-submitted video, meaning there's something that you, the instructor, want to share with your class, or there's also student-submitted videos, meaning students will upload a video to view, for you to view, for them to review, or for peer review. And just a couple of ideas that we have for these. It's a great way to share class information. Going back to that idea of setting up a camera in your class, you can record a lecture and upload it to Launchpad for either later viewing, students who couldn't make it to class, or this can be a great way to get lecture information to students in an online class. You could also include an introductory welcome video. We also have, of course, we discussed screencasts. Screencasts are a great way to share directions and tutorials with your students. One example of this, our public speaking textbooks have great coverage on Prezi, a presentation tool. If you want to show your students how to use this, you could record your screen while talking to your students, walking through this product, showing them how to use it. Additionally, if you have maybe a really detailed assignment, sometimes it's helpful for students to hear and see directions. So you could have the assignment directions up on the screen and read through them as well. And of course, you can upload any animations or related media that may seem relevant to your course. And as we focused on last time a little bit, you can import literally any video from YouTube. So we've got seemingly endless options right there. Now remember that one of the features we have in Intuitive built into the video assignments are that students can be required to leave comments and or to fill out a rubric. So a few ways that you can use these features are to have students view sample presentations. Maybe they're going to be working on some sort of class project. You can provide a sample version of what one of those projects would look like. One way that I used to use this personally, I would have my students quote unquote grade a sample speech as if they were the instructor. They basically put themselves in your shoes and they get a really good idea of then what something should look like. You can also share related lectures. Maybe there's TED Talks, if you've got a video from an important figure in your field. Additionally, sometimes institutions or important companies within your major may have their own YouTube channel. So of course, you could pull any of those videos in for use as well. And you can also use this as sort of a live action or time-stamped discussion board, meaning you can continue the discussion outside of class. You know, if you upload that recording of your class lecture, you can have students go back, rewatch portions, maybe insert comments. This can be a great way for students to ask questions as well. Maybe you had students who are too shy to speak up in class, or maybe they just had a question later on that popped into their head. That can be a great avenue for them to ask you. And another great way to use this is to have video quizzes. You can upload a video, go in and add your own comments to ask questions of the students, and then students can, of course, respond to your questions. And the way that our settings work for students submitting comments, you can actually make it so that not all of your students in the class will see the answers that everyone else has given. So, you know, it's not going to just create some sort of big cheating thing where everyone just leaves the same answer from what they saw everyone else say.
Hi, this is Scott Kyle. You could also use the Launchpad quizzing engine to make a quiz to sit alongside it. It doesn't open in the same window right now. We're hoping the future of this product actually has embedded quizzing, but there is a quizzing feature within Launchpad that can accompany any video assignment you make.
That's true. Thanks, Scott. So moving on to, actually, let me take a quick look at the chat, see if anyone, no, I was hoping we maybe had some other ideas to share. But so with that, we'll take a look then at video assignments that your students can submit. This is, we provide you with a really easy, secure way for students to share videos. Once videos are uploaded into Launchpad, they're not leaving. So you don't have to worry about privacy concerns. Videos aren't going to get leaked anywhere. It's only viewable by you, the instructor, and then students who are registered into that course. And of course, there are also privacy settings within Launchpad so that only you can view certain videos as well. Now, this is, of course, how I used this feature the most. I would have, oops, sorry, clicked back too much. So these are going to be videos that students upload for you to view and grade. This is the way that I used it the most when I was teaching public speaking. Students would record their speeches, and they would upload them to, at the time, speech class, now Launchpad, and I could grade and add comments as I saw fit. Of course, some other ways that you can use this, though, are any sort of project presentation that your students may complete can be recorded and uploaded here. Maybe you don't have time to do in-class presentations in your course. You can have your student record that presentation on their own time and then upload it here. Of course, we already covered speeches. Anything that you can ask them to record themselves doing is also an option. Maybe you're in a science class and you're having them do at-home experiments. Maybe you're having them conduct interviews. Any sort of activity that they can set up a camera to show them doing something can be uploaded here. Because students can add their own comments to their video, they can also use this as any sort of self-reflective activity you have. Maybe you have some sort of end-of-semester assessment. Students can look back at the progress that they've made over the course of the semester. You can also do what I like to call a video scavenger hunt, where you ask students to go find a video and embed it. And this is actually something that I used in my classes as well. To reemphasize the idea of having a good introduction and a good conclusion in your speech, I asked students to find video clips of a video, or I should say of a movie that had a great introduction and a great closing, and talk about how that impacts the rest of the movie. And of course, one that I forgot to put a little bullet point for, you can have this also be sort of a self-reflective confessional. You know, maybe make it sort of like a reality TV show in that respect, where students can just share their thoughts with the video camera. Additionally, some students may find it easier to talk things out than to write them. So that may be a good way to get feedback or have them complete an assignment. You can also have peer review options on here. Classmates can add comments on all other classmates' videos. So this makes it a natural way for students to work on group assignments. You can get feedback on a found or submitted video. And it's a great way for groups to give feedback to each other. One cool little quirk, well, not a quirk, that's not the right word. One awesome little perk is what I meant to say of our system is that if you require that your students leave X amount of comments, the system actually reminds them if they haven't left enough. And additionally, if you have a student-submitted video, you can have it so that students are not allowed to comment on another student's video until they upload their own. So it kind of pushes them into doing their own assignments first. I'm going to exit out of this and switch back to Launchpad real quick. We'll exit out of this. And I'll just provide a quick review on how we build a video assignment within Launchpad. Remember, you come to Add New, select Video Assignment, and then the Settings tab is where we come up with what type of assignment it's going to be, whether it's going to be an instructor-submitted video or a student-submitted video. One thing I want to focus on here, though, is actually going to be the Rubric button. As I said, we have the option to customize your own rubrics in here. These are ones that I've already built. If you haven't built a rubric before, you'll simply come to this Create a New Rubric. And of course, there's lots of different options for rubrics. One that I've created for my communication courses. This is just one example of one that you can use for communication, or, nope, I'll get to that question in just a second. This is a rubric that can be used for not just a speech, but for any class where you're doing a presentation. And of course, the competency is kind of a general topic, and then there's the specific criterion underneath. So of course, for communication and a speech presentation, we look at audience analysis, introduction, body, conclusion, organization, and that sort of thing. But we also have, I'm going to go back here, I've created one for a psychology project just to show you the versatile uses of the rubric feature. Here we just kind of look at, this is again a student presentation, but we focus more on the content available or the content given in the presentation. So did they do sufficient research? What about their data and observations, scopes and limitations? Did they clearly explain everything? And then of course, how the project was presented. But I will go to create a new rubric now. And this is how you can build it from scratch. You add a competency, which adds this kind of heading here. You edit anything in here with the pencil. And then you can add your different criterion here. And just add if you want to add more. Okay. And when you're done with that, you just hit save. And all of your rubrics are linked to your email address. So if you create it within one Launchpad course, it will be available in all of them. And then we just click Add to Assignments. One little tip, I just like to make sure to check back here under the Settings button, check Add Use Rubric, just to make sure that that's going to be available. And then, of course, we come back to this Add File button to quickly review. We support all of these different file types, so you can upload any video saved on your computer that follows this format. And of course, we have the embed feature here. I do like to mention you are allowed to upload or embed as many videos as you would like. There is no limit to the number of files you can upload. We do have a file size limit of 600 megabytes for anything that you upload, but we do have directions for how you can compress a video if it's too big. We have instructors in our Launchpad user guide. One thing we recommend is using Handbrake. And of course, we can just come to YouTube, grab a link, type our title, and then submit. And of course, it happens very, very quickly, and our video is now here.
We have a couple of questions, Heather.
Oh, sure. That was actually everything I was going to cover, so we were going to get to questions in just a second, but we can go ahead and jump right in.
Sorry to jump the gun. Does Macmillan provide sample rubrics for disciplines that use publisher materials?
We have sample rubrics for our public speaking courses, so they're going to be very presentation focused. As far as other disciplines are concerned, we don't have anything that's pre-made, but again, your digital solutions specialist would be more than happy to work with you to get that tailored for your specific discipline.
Frankly, we're also in the process of trying to develop additional rubrics. This tool is new to us too, and part of why we want to have these webinars is we're trying to explore the scope of how these are going to be used, what people want from them, and we'll continue to provide as many tools as reasonably we can as we see how people are using them and what the market need is going to be. Another question: can you share the rubrics you just showed us as a guide?
Could you say that again?
The question is, can you share the rubrics you just showed us as a guide? In other words, I think the person wants to see the rubrics again as sort of a... Yeah, absolutely. Let me, let's go back
as
here. A model, maybe.
Yeah, let's, I think I got to create a new one so that we can walk through those, but that's not a problem at all. So some of these are the public speaking ones that I was talking about that are pre-provided with those titles. So this is a good one for just any sort of presentation where you're focusing just on, you know, the organization of the content and the presentation itself. So we always look at, in public speaking at least, we always look at audience analysis. We look at the introduction to make sure it has all of the required parts. Body as far as the organization is concerned. Do they have a clear conclusion? And then we always look at delivery elements as well. This particular one, make sure we look at eye contact. If the person is vocally expressive, did they use good gestures and movements? Did they avoid nervous mannerisms? And the overall general effectiveness of the delivery. Another one that I created on here was for this psychology project. I'll preview this. And I've got this back on the screen now. I just looked at, you're kind of judging, this is more looking at the discipline-specific content of a presentation, not necessarily as much of the mechanics of the presentation itself. So here we look at the experience that this particular topic covered. How creative was this? Is it clearly explained? Did they use the materials properly? Do they have unique ideas? And then just a small focus on the actual mechanics of the presentation, because of course those are still important. The speech teacher in me would tell you that the presentation skills are just as important as the presentation itself. Any other questions, Scott?
I'm sorry, it helps to take myself off of mute. We have a number of questions rolling in. I'm going to address this one quickly because I think it's a fairly quick, easy answer. Does Launchpad work with Blackboard? Absolutely. We have deep integration with Blackboard. We also have it with Canvas and Desire to Learn. We're working on a basic integration for all other LMSs for fall. So that would be Moodle, Sakai, etc. I can't promise we will have the basic for fall for those. We already have and have hundreds of users for the other integrations for Blackboard, Canvas, and Desire to Learn. So yes, we can set that up quite easily. Next question, are there ideal ways for instructors to integrate videos into their courses, pedagogically speaking? Are there examples of Launchpad courses that do this especially well? I can mention a couple. I can certainly address the second part of that, Heather.
Yeah, go for it.
The geology has done it really well. It's not necessarily using this tool that they've done it, because a lot of the video content that we made predated this tool. But we've done, I believe, a very good job in our geology courses of incorporating videos that we had made by a geologist and turning them into activities. If I were looking at ways to use video, I'd look at the geology understanding Earth course for sure. Our new Morris biology book uses all kinds of videos and animations in various ways, and I think it does it extremely well because that was one of the goals of the Morris book. Those two jump to mind in terms of, guidance on how to use videos. In terms of how to best use this pedagogically, as I mentioned earlier, we are, along with you guys, feeling our way through this. We're trying to arrive at what is the best way to help people incorporate videos. Step one was to give them this tool, to sort of give them the ability to easily grab videos and turn them into assignments. Step two is still being sort of brainstormed by us. What else do people need? So if people have feedback in that area in terms of what they need or what they'd like to see, please share. It really will impact future product development because we are sort of feeling our way out through this as more people are using it. Another question, when we have our own Launchpad, can we view the prefab rubrics? In other words, the rubrics, I think the rubrics you created there, are those are you able to share those with people?
Yes, we're so ideally, yes, you would be able to log in and see those right away. We did run into a little hitch with getting those live to everybody. So we do have a workaround for it if you're interested. Go ahead. It's not difficult, but I don't know that we need to get into it right now. Do you think should I get into it, Scott? Should I explain the workaround for that?
No, the mechanics of it, no, we can explain that via email. Another suggestion, Heather, might be we might want to use the Launchpad community. If you have information or sample model rubrics, sharing them there would probably be the best next step.
Absolutely,
There's no login. It's open access. Anyone that wanted to could go there and look at them. Even if they weren't using the video tool, of course, we prefer they would. Let's see. How are comments graded?
Could you say that again?
How are comments graded?
Got it. Oddly enough, that's kind of what I have up on the screen right now. So what this is an example of an instructor submitted video. I required that my students add a certain amount of comments and fill out the rubric associated with it as well. So right here, I can see all my student submissions. I can actually click on, or I should say the short answer is the comments can be either just sort of a full credit upon completion sort of thing, meaning if they leave the correct number of comments, that's it, they get credit. Or you can leave it manually graded, meaning you would come in, read the comments, and then apply a grade that way. And you would view the comments by clicking this number here. So this is telling me I required that students leave 2 comments. This student left 3. And if I click on just her number, it will show me just that student's comments and just that student's rubric. And I can do that with my other student as well. Or, you know, obviously if you open the video review, you see everyone's comments all in line. So you can see everything there or just by student.
So the bottom line is you can set a number of comments. Everyone needs to make 4 comments. When a student made those 4 comments, they'll get credit for the assignment. Yes. You can, however, grade them if you wish. I guess I would not suggest that on a large class. That would be an awful lot of work. But if you're ambitious, you can certainly manually grade comments and not just make it a credit upon submission situation. But that's an automatic credit upon submission. That's what the system does, so to speak, or one of the features of the system. Someone asked a question about, you had mentioned a video compression tool.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So let me jump back to, this is our Launchpad user's guide, and it has a lot of helpful tips and tricks and answers a lot of questions. And there's a whole section here on just video assignments. And we include directions here for how to compress a video file. One thing, a program that we strongly recommend is Handbrake. It's free, it's rated excellent by CNET users. And basically, you know, you download and install. You would take your video file from your computer, pull it into Handbrake, and it would export in a compressed file format that would then be able to be uploaded into Launchpad without an issue. FreeMake is something that we also recommend for Windows. It's not available for Mac, though. Handbrake is available for both Windows and Mac.
Okay, another question. Thank you, Heather. What has been the most popular use of the tool? Is there a particular style of assignment or discipline that uses it most often?
So there's kind of 2 answers to that. I would say in public speaking and communication related courses, definitely the student submitted video where the student's recording their speech, uploading it, and the instructor grades it. But I've actually heard in, I believe, psychology and one of the science courses actually, they've found that the instructor submitted video has been a really great way to share, you know, any sort of material that you have with your class and then use it as sort of a discussion board. You know, instructors have uploaded a video and then their comments, their students use the commenting feature and they've gotten a lot of really good discussions out of it. So
from a usage metric standpoint, Heather, I just got some data on this earlier today. The second thing you mentioned, the instructor submitted comment board, that is the most popular way. And believe it or not, the psychology and biology are the disciplines that have been using it most often. This was envisioned years ago as a tool for the communications discipline. It has evolved into something that we believe is going to benefit much more than just communications instructors. And it's good for us to see that the usage metrics are bearing that out, that many, many disciplines are using this. And the biggest ones aren't at this point coming from communication, although communication certainly is using it a lot. I believe we're at the end of the questions. Let me just double check to see if I didn't miss anything. Graphically, share rubrics, video compression. I believe that is it.
Great.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. We'll be providing a follow-up with this recording with information on how to get more help, also how to integrate, since that question came up, how to integrate with Blackboard and various other topics. If you have any questions that you want immediate answers to, simply send an email back to me, Scott Guile, and I will take care of your needs as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.